From their struggles on the road to potentially devastating consequences between the 2022-2023 season, Draymond Green has admitted that punching Jordan Poole compromised the Warriors' season. In fact, he's even said that Golden State's slippage on the road was linked to the incident. First of all, kudos to Draymond for acknowledging his mistake, which cost the team big time. I mean, it takes some serious guts to admit that you were at fault, even when it's true. More importantly, this is a fascinating insight into how NBA teams function. An incident that happened before the start of the 2022 season ended up hampering how the defending champions played away from home. For fans who believe this is nothing but an excuse and a way to cover up their poor performances, allow me to explain. You see, Green punching Poole shook the Warriors up from the very foundations. They already papered over the cracks thanks to some outworldly performances from Steph Curry and the NBA Finals of 2022, which led to them not addressing some of their biggest roster-related issues. After Green's punch, it was clear the Warriors were headed for disaster, and that incident had a big impact on how the team played on the road. The Warriors thrive in front of their home crowd, battling through any adversity. They don't care even if they're down by 15 in the last few minutes. They'll find a way to make it up. On the road, it's a totally different story. Momentum shifts can be damaging, especially when you don't have the home comforts or the support of the crowd. And that's why you need players like Draymond Green to fix your issues on the road. Now, from a purely statistical point of view, the impact of Draymond Green wouldn't be very obvious. He's the type of player who needs to play every game for the Warriors, because without him cleaning up after the Stephs, the Clays, and even the Andrew Wigginses, you don't get the beautiful basketball that Golden State loves to play. Green is quietly in the background running things, doing the dirty work, while allowing the flashiest players on the Warriors roster to take advantage. No, don't feel bad for him. Green acknowledges his role. And if you're a pure basketball fan, you'll realize that Green's the glue that holds the Warriors together. He's the player who will get a technical on the road and force disruptions throughout the game, causing the home side to struggle more and more. That's a crucial contribution to a team that likes to go small. Draymond gets into the face of the opposition and breaks up their plays with relative ease. This has a crucial impact on the other end of the floor, because the Warriors have enough players to eat you up on the offense. Even on their worst days during the poor 2022-2023 NBA season, Golden State didn't struggle to score. They struggled to keep up defensively, and like I said, it was all down to Green not being at his best. The four-time champ explained how he wasn't feeling like himself until February. He may have been the one who delivered the deadly punch on his teammate, but it also left him feeling hollow on the inside. Whatever the dispute was, it seems way too petty now. Whatever the problems were, they definitely weren't worth ruining what the Warriors had worked so long to build. Green realized that, but apologies don't fix things that have happened. They go a long way in ensuring that it doesn't happen again, and chaos had been set free by him when he delivered that hook. It was brutal. The Warriors punished him. Green also punished himself. But when he did return to the floor to play, things were still blatantly disjointed. It was obvious that there was that lingering feeling that hadn't left since the incident, and all that was taking its toll on the Warriors as a team. There was another incident during the 2023 regular season when Green reacted angrily to a play after Poole passed him up in transition.
Poole picked up the dribble, needs some help now. Final minute here.
Green's reaction cost his team, as he failed to get back on the defense timely, with the Thunder building their lead up and defending champions caught up in grudges. Due to this increasingly fragmented play on the floor, Green realized that along with his lesser influence on the games, he'd also lost the most important thing that he had, his leadership. It's very simple. No one respects a leader who goes around hitting teammates. Green knew that too. And because it was something that he himself wouldn't respect in another leader, it became apparent that the Warriors veteran was finding it difficult to lead the roster. Steph Curry is usually the first name on that Golden State lineup, and his presence is enough of an advantage when it comes to leadership. Unfortunately, when it rains, it pours. If it wasn't bad enough that Green had lost his leadership ability, things took a turn for the worst when Steph also got injured, and missed the majority of the season due to his multiple injury-related setbacks. His absence from the court only made things a lot tougher for Draymond, who knew that he needed to forgive himself before anyone else could do it. By the time Green got around to doing that, it was too late, and in his own words, the rest of the team had developed some bad habits. Green believes that the season for the Warriors was already over around February 2023, and while he tried his best to get them back on track after that, there was only minimal improvement, which was enough for them to make the playoffs, but not enough to get past the Lakers in the Western Conference semifinals of 2023. The four-time All-Star believes that the slippage due to his holding back cost the Warriors. Again, he only has himself to blame. Of course, it would have been ideal if Steph was around for the majority of the campaign, but in his absence, and with Green going around punching people, the task fell to the third most senior player in the legendary Warriors core, Klay Thompson. As good as Thompson is, he's not exactly a leader. He tried his best to play as one, but his influence over the team didn't have a similar impact to what Steph and Draymond can do.
Curry off the screen, doubled, looped it to Draymond, drives it on Horford, goes up, scored, and got fouled. Curry for three.
That's fine too. Not everyone is supposed to be a leader, but this should have been a patch-up job for Steve Kerr to do. The head coach should have found a way to make things right during the 2022-2023 season, and make some big calls if needed. Ultimately, by letting things run their course, Kerr & Co. left it too late to give themselves any serious chance of winning another title, and it wasn't a great idea. They've got an aging roster, and when all your main players are in their mid-30s, you can't waste years like these. It was already a pathetic decision by the Warriors front office to trim some of their squad ahead of the 2022-2023 season, and it cost them significantly. Along with all that was going on behind the scenes, of course. More than that early exit in the playoffs, Kerr should be worried about how his team will find its unity again. The Warriors head coach has always taken a lot of pride in the Warriors' unity, and how they function as a team, and have each other's backs. It's what makes them so good, and has been the biggest reason behind their magnificent era of dominance in the NBA. But that off-season punch from Green changed things dramatically. There are big questions over whether Kerr will be able to restore that unity among his players, and what difficult decisions he would need to make in order to do so. On the surface, it seems as if Poole and Green don't have any bad blood. But is it a good idea to stick with the veteran? Because what kind of message does that send? Would any other player not as important as Green have gotten away with throwing a punch? Probably not. So Kerr will need to decide what to do with the former Defensive Player of the Year. And in a way, the punch could have consequences further beyond the 2022-2023 season. This will be a decision with a lot riding on it. After all, Poole's performance in the 2023 playoffs were anything but promising, and Kerr needs to decide whether it's a good idea to let Poole leave, while offering a contract to Draymond and running it back with the OG core. If that's what he chooses to go with, the Warriors will be ditching the second of their two-timeline approach, and it could be a costly mistake. With that decision, it'll become clear that all they want is to maximize whatever's left of Curry and try to win as many championships as possible before he calls it a day. Not a bad idea, but the rebuild will be delayed by at least a couple of years. On the other hand, if Kerr decides to let Green go, that'd also be a big risk. Every team in the NBA would try their best to sign Green, because of his IQ mainly, and if the Warriors can't replace him, they'll be wasting Steph's final few years. I'm just glad I don't have to make this decision. So, from potential consequences beyond the 2022-2023 season, to the Warriors' struggles on the road, this was how Draymond Green punching Jordan Poole compromised the Warriors' 2022-2023 season.